Hello and welcome to another episode on Stephen Dawes Geek Show. Thank you for joining me. Today, I wanted to do a couple of things first of all. Firstly, I'm going to be doing some shows on my YouTube channel, which is also called the Stephen Dawes Geek Show. You can find it by searching my name, Stephen Dawes. And on there, I'm going to be doing some other things to do with technology. So I'm going to be doing a comparison between a Chromebook and a Windows laptop. And I'm also going to be going through some of the other intricacies of the Chromebook and some of the functions and things that you can do with it, as well as many other things as well. So if you want to see a more visual way of doing it, then if you're the sort of person that likes to see things as they're explained, then go to my YouTube channel, and I have lots of how-to guides and reviews on there of various things. You can check that out. So that's on my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Joker. Obviously a very famous character, and one that is synonymous with Batman, of course, and all the other evildoers from Gotham City. And obviously with the new Joker movie coming out very soon, some of the people have been looking back at some of the other Jokers that have taken place in the past to find out exactly who was the best Joker of them all. Now obviously there were a few going around, and I'm probably not going to be able to mention all of them, because there are probably some obscure people that have played Joker that I don't remember or I don't know about. But I'm going to be going through some of the most popular ones and just giving my thoughts on which ones could be the best. Now if you have an idea of who the best Joker was, I would love to hear it, so please let me know. You can contact me on my Twitter, which is Stephen Dawes, or you can contact me on Instagram as well, Stephen Dawes Geek Show. Let's get straight to it, shall we? So I thought I'd start off with the earliest one that I remember, and that was from the Batman TV series. Now that was the one that starred Adam West as the Batman, and of course Burt Ward as the fantastic Dick Grayson. And it had a comic feel about it. I mean, it was quite a jokey TV series. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I recommend that you take a look at it, because it was entertaining. I mean, obviously it wasn't very frightening or in the Tim Burton type of Batman situation, but it was entertaining and it was good fun, and it was, it was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing, I think, but it was great. And of course the Joker was a guy called Cesar Romero. I think it was Cesar Romero. He was really good. I thought he actually played the Joker really well. One of the things that always struck me was the fact that they used to paint over his moustache. They used to have the green hair, but then they used to paint over his moustache, and you could see he still had a moustache on, and they used to just paint it white over the top, which even at the time when I was a young kid, when I watched it, even then it made me kind of laugh a little bit that this guy just painted over his moustache rather than shave it off. But anyway, I thought he was quite a good Joker. He had quite a good laugh, and he seemed to be really getting into the character, and he just looked a little bit crazy. I mean, he wasn't the kind of the weird type of crazy that you see in some other things, but he was just kind of funny and jokey, and obviously wanted to kill Batman, which is one of the main things that he wanted to do. But that was one of the things that got me first into Batman, and I remember that series as a kid, and I really did enjoy it. I thought it was very good, and obviously it was also a huge entertainment and a bit of fun as well. So he was my first real look at Joker in that sort of way, and at that time I didn't really notice anything different about it. I mean, I hadn't really read the comic books back then, so that was my first introduction to the Joker. And obviously the Joker in the comics is a little bit different, or quite different, to how he was in the TV series. And then of course, actually the first movie that I saw that was rated 12 in the UK at the time was Batman, and it was the first Tim Burton Batman, and it had the Joker played by Jack Nicholson. Now, I thought Jack Nicholson was quite a good Joker. I mean, he was quite funny, and in a kind of a black comedy type of way, and I thought he actually played the character quite well. He wasn't obviously playing. It was kind of like Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, if you know what I mean. I mean, you could say it was Jack Nicholson underneath, and his personality was coming through. But he did add quite a nice sadistic and dark side to the character. And obviously, I loved Michael Keaton as Batman. I have to say, he's probably is my Batman of the TV of the movie series so far. He is my Batman. I think Michael Keaton is going to be very hard to top, and we'll have to wait and see if the new guy taking over can stamp his mark onto it. But I think for me, Michael Keaton is still going to be my top Batman. Next, of course, you've got the TV series, the animated TV series, and in that you have the Joker, who was voiced over by Mark Hamill. Now I know there have been other Jokers voiced over by different characters later on, or different actors I should say, later on in the movies, in the animated movies. But for me, I wanted to talk about the Mark Hamill Joker because I think he really gave everything he had to that character. You know, he was so different to what, you know, when you think of Mark Hamill, you think, obviously a lot of people think of Star Wars and Luke Skywalker. He was completely different as a Joker. You know, he's a maniacal laugh and the way that he talked, and he was just really great. I thought it was a fantastic performance, and from the very beginning, actually, I think I watched the Batman movies, the animated show and the animated TV series, and they were fantastic. You know, they had some fantastic characters in there, and they're really well written, and I loved the animation. And the Joker in particular, I think, was a fantastic character, and Mark Hamill made him come alive and gave him such a great depth and madness to the character. It was obviously what you want from the Joker, and I think that really did work very well. Now, to go forward a bit more, you obviously have the amazing Heath Ledger, who took over the mantle of Batman in the movies later on. And I think he really did do an exceptional job. I mean, he brought a real dark side to the Joker that we hadn't seen, I don't think, on the screen up until that point. And he really did, I think, add a real madness to the character, which of course is what came through in the comic books, and he was much closer to the comic books, I think, than anyone else had at that particular time. And his performance was fantastic, and obviously his death was a real shame and such a sad thing to happen for such a very talented actor. But I think that portrayal of him in the Batman movie was one of the best performances I've seen from any actor. Certainly to put that kind of thing on film and to act in that particular way was absolutely amazing, and I think it's a really amazing performance from him. One of my very favourite Batman movies, I have to say, and I think, you know, if you're going to go into the depths and the detail of it, I think Christian Bale also brought a very much darker Batman to the silver screen. Obviously, Michael Keaton brought a very mysterious and slightly moody performance to the Batman franchise, and then of course we had a few other actors like Val Kilmer and George Clooney, who I won't run into. But then you obviously had Christian Bale, who came back and brought it in very back to the comic books again, similar to in a way that Heath Ledger did. Heath Ledger, I should say, sorry. And then of course you had Ben Affleck, who also played Batman after that, and you had his representation of Joker, who hasn't really met the Joker in his tenure as Batman, but in that similar kind of time frame, you have a different actor that took over the role of the Joker. You had Jared Leto, who took over the role of the Joker in the Suicide Squad, which is a movie that came out around the time that Ben Affleck was the Batman, and his portrayal was different again to, for example, Heath Ledger's portrayal. He was equally, I think, mad and kind of psychotic, but in a kind of different way. And I have to say, you know, I'm not having a go at any particular actor or anyone who played any particular character. I didn't find him to be the most Joker-like person and Joker-like portrayal of that character. I mean, others may disagree with me, of course, which is fine, but I just think that he didn't really give it the kind of portrayal that I would say is going to be something that endeared itself into my memory, the way that, say, Mark Hamill or Heath Ledger or Jack Nicholson did, for example. Now, going forward, of course, you now have Joaquin Phoenix, who is going to be coming out with his portrayal of the Joker in a standalone movie. I think this is one of the first times there's been a standalone movie for the Joker himself on his own. And this is a kind of a reboot, I think, in some ways, because you're going to go back to see how he became the Joker. And it's going to be, I think, slightly different to the other origin stories that they've had in some of the other movies that they've showed you how the man becomes the Joker. And I think this is going to be slightly different. It's going to be a bit more of a psychotic, a bit more of a kind of a mental health type of thing going on. So he kind of has problems with his mental health, and his mind kind of starts to go, and it's that kind of development into the Joker, which is a slightly different way to they've done it in the past. Hopefully it's going to be really good. I've seen the trailer. The last trailer hit a couple of days ago, and it does look really good. So I'm hoping we're going to get a good The Joker. And I think Joaquin Phoenix is certainly giving it everything he's got. But looking at the trailer, he really just seems to be going for it, which is fantastic. That's what you want to see, you know. But a character like the Joker, you just really have to go in with it and give it everything you've got. So hopefully this would be a really good movie. And that's really the end of it. I think that's as far as we've got in terms of the Joker. As I said before, there may be other actors who've played him in the past that I haven't mentioned, and I do apologise for that. Let me know who you think your favourite is. That would be great to hear, and why you think they're your favourite. And also let me know how you think about the new Joker movie, what you think that's going to be like. Do you think it's going to be good, or do you think it's going to be not very good? It'd be good to hear your thoughts. Let me know. As always, I say you can contact me on Twitter under Stephen Dawes, or you can contact me on Instagram, Stephen Dawes Geek Show. Thank you for joining me today. I really hope you've enjoyed the episode, and until next time, bye bye.